I'm walking by a whole bunch of cafes and shops on the Lower East Side. But when I hit Avenue D, everything changes suddenly. The cafes turn into chicken spots, and the shops turn into laundromats. I've passed housing projects before, but never walked into one. I thought I would encounter a lot of drug addicts, but people were just chilling, just how I would chill on my block. The one thing I knew about public housing before coming down here is that there's a lot of cops, because there's a lot of crime. With 3 police precincts patrolling the housing projects along Avenue D, you see officers all the time. Do you feel safe in this community?
Of course.
Do the police officers make you feel safe?
Not really.
In what way do they not make you feel safe?
I don't know, sometimes you'll walk down the street and they'll stop you for no reason.
I'm always hearing stories like this from young black guys like James. I mean, how can the police be hassling them that much?
If you need the help and if they stopping you and a crook or a criminal just passed them, you never know who's what. But hey, you gotta trust the police.
The police use stop and frisk to try to protect innocent people from potential perpetrators. When people complain that the cops are stopping and frisking them, I think they should ask themselves, what am I doing to get myself stopped all the time?
I mean, everybody's situation is basically the same thing. You come out the building, if you don't have no ID, or if you can't take them to somewhere where you just came from, you're going to jail. Plain and simple.
So they actually took you to jail because you don't have ID?
Yes.
I ran into Ron Williams, this tall dude in red pajama pants. He told me about a time he got arrested on his way to the store.
I mean, in the end of the day, they looking at it like they making a quota, so it's like as long as you go through the system, the judge is going to just let you go, but it's just too late because you already spent the night in the system. Can't take that back, you know?
Ron was just telling me the story of a regular day. It was just, these are the facts of what happened to me, and I believed him. Awesome doors. I'm about to walk into the NYPD Legal Defense Office. I was expecting to jump right back into the 70s, people with frills and picks, but surprisingly, and sadly, the place was pretty dull. People were just working. Hi.
Hello. Hi, I'm Nancy.
Hello.
From Legal Aid. Good to meet you.
That's Nancy Rosenblum. She's a lawyer from the Legal Aid Society. I wanted to know if these police practices are legal, and if the stories these people were telling me were true.
In this country, we're not required to carry identification.
But,
Hard to believe, isn't it?
yeah, because... No, it's because, everybody I talk to, there's African-American male, oh, you have to carry around ID all the time.
Well, that's all part of this culture of people not trusting the police. And the reason people don't trust the police is because too many times police officers are harassing young people of color.
People aren't just stopped and frisked on the streets. Police also do vertical patrols inside the housing projects, which are floor-by-floor sweeps to curb criminal activity.
My name is Jonathan Smith. I'm a lawyer at the NAACP Legal Defense and Educational Fund.
The Legal Aid Society and the NAACP are suing the police department in the city of New York. The police say that they're just trying to keep public housing safe. But Nancy and John say that these vertical patrols infringe on people's constitutional rights.
Our lawsuit is about the fact that during these vertical patrols and other activities on NYPD property, the police officers often have a pattern of stopping and arresting innocent, law-abiding residents who live there, as well as their visitors and friends, for trespassing.
2 of our clients, one is an elderly man who was sick, he was bedridden. His nephew got arrested for coming to visit his uncle and bringing him his meals because he didn't happen to be carrying ID that day. They arrested him for trespassing. The police officer never knocked on the uncle's door. Instead, they just arrested him. He spent the night in jail, and his uncle didn't get to eat for a couple days.
Many people believe that the vertical patrols are discriminatory, and numbers don't lie. The rates of trespassing arrests are higher on public housing grounds than in the surrounding communities. And 95% of the people who live in NYPD buildings are people of color. A lot of people who get arrested for trespassing in these NYPD buildings end up with a police record, even though they may have been trespassing in their own home.
Actually, I was with a friend one time.
This guy Taekwon told me that his friend got arrested in the lobby of his own building. He was just trying to pick up his Chinese food delivery.
Police came and they asked him, do you have ID? He said, no, I actually live upstairs though. I can ring the bell to verify I live here, or even ring a attendance bell, say, I verify I live here, and they just locked him up because he didn't have ID.
Can you introduce yourself, please?
Sure, my name is Antonio Garcia.
He was leaning against the fence outside his NYCHA building. So, like, how do they treat you when they stop and frisk you?
They treat me like, I guess you would any guilty person. As soon as you walk in, they'll just ask you to stand against the wall, and they won't even explain half the time why they're searching you. After that, they'll just pat you down, pat your pockets, they'll check your sneakers, and then they'll ask you for ID after.
I thought you were innocent until proven guilty in this country. How does that make you feel when they're stopping and frisking you in your own building, like where you're supposed to feel safe?
I could care less. It's whatever. I mean, some of them want to keep stuff safe. Some of them just want to be difficult.
I feel like, oh, he should care. But I don't live in public housing, so that's something I don't have to deal with, and he shouldn't have to deal with that either. I contacted the police department to try to get the other side of the story. They declined to talk to me. But Nancy told me that last year the NYPD did make some changes to their vertical patrol guide.
Why are you particularly interested in this topic, in this lawsuit?
All of the males I talked to who are black, they was talking about how the police are harassing them. But from what I've learned from doing this case is that maybe they don't exaggerate as much as I thought they did.
Yeah. I mean, it could be people are exaggerating a little bit and it's happening, right? It could both be true.
Before I just saw the story in black and white. The cops are right and the people are wrong. That's just how it is. But at some point, it's hard to believe the story is just one shade. That it's just the people who are wrong. For WNYC, I'm Rookie reporter Temitayo Fagbenle.